Disclaimer. Do not harass anybody mentioned in this video at any circumstances. This video is only to get my side of the story out and right some wrongs. Harassment is nowhere encouraged in this video, and you are no better if you choose to do so. With that being said, let's begin. Hello everyone. For the past couple of months I have been staying silent and not making a full-on detailed response to everything that's been said against me. I would like to tell my full side of the story, and hopefully end all of this once and for all and finally move on with everything instead of stressing everyday people believing a false reality on me. And also take responsibility for some of the things I did wrong and some things I could definitely do better going forward. Also, side note, I apologize if some sentences are wonky or if some things come out wrong. I am terrible with grammar and writing. I would like to say that I sadly don't have any proof of me or Kaylas DMs to show due to my Discord account I talked to Kayla on being suspended. So you're sadly just gonna have to take my word for everything I say in this section. As everyone knows already, Kayla posted a Google document on me on May 4th, 2026. It talked about me doing sexual acts with Kayla in private DMs and even her making the claim that I sexually harassed her. I would like to say that no sexual harassment ever happened, and the sexual harassment she speaks about, she never mentioned anything about it until 4 months later during the breakup. I will, however, say it was stupid of me to say something like I would looked up you in the first 10 minutes in of us together and would like to apologize for saying things like that so quickly. Anyways, the way I remember that call that I sexually harassed her on was me looking at online quizzes and Twitter and both of laughing with each other, and even if I did jerk off on call like she said, I am certain I asked if it was okay to do beforehand. I wouldn't just do something like that without the other person's permission first. I only panicked when she mentioned it months later, because honestly I really didn't think about it too much and took what she said I did and believe it, as I have a tend to overthink a lot of things even if I didn't even do any of what she mentioned. Everything that happened between us was consensual and was always meant to be kept private. Kayla knew I was scared I would have a Google document on me over the stuff we were doing in DMs, and she always reassured me that I was gonna be fine and that I should never worry about it, because if that were to happen she would have gotten exposed too. Yes, she actually said something like that between our DMs, and even the boner pics she mentioned in the document were consensual and even encouraged by her completely. It started off with me just sending pictures of my face and how tall I was to her. Then Kayla made remarks about my boner being out in some of the pictures and how hot it was, and actually even before we started dating, Kayla was already jerking off to my face reveal I posted almost 2 weeks prior of us getting together, and admitted that she humped her pillow thinking about me and my face. Also, the mom calling stuff she mentioned in the document and how she was drunk that one night. Kayla begged me to jerk off with her on call or else she was gonna do something far worse if I didn't. Of course I was okay with it and did it with her like we always did with each other. I do admit I wish I would have been more romantical with her, and I apologize for not doing so. I really did care about her and really did love her deep down. I was just awful at showing it, and would even have panic attacks over her seeming to not love me anymore. Her saying that I did something as far as sexually harass her is just simply not true at all. Me and Kayla both knew we had problems. I just really wish at the very least in her document she could have admitted she did a couple things wrong herself, or even just put a simple "do not harass this individual at all," because unsurprisingly after she released her document people were going into my DMs and calling me a straight up pedophile, which that is also not true and have no idea where people got that from at all, as me and Kayla were pretty much the same age when everything went down between us. Also, I know this doesn't matter much after everything I just talked about in this part of the video, but in the document she got the breakup date wrong. We actually broke up on April 8th, not April 9th. In conclusion to this part of the video, I did not in any way sexually harass Kayla or even groom her as some people have said I did. Me and Kayla were completely aware of what we were both doing and we both equally okay with the stuff that happened in our DMs. I already talked about these two in my second response document if anyone even had the chance of reading that or even bothered to read it at all, but basically both Kay and Quinn came out saying I did some weird stuff to them too. I would like to first apologize to Quinn for being super weird towards her the couple of days we talked to each other. And I'll admit I was a little weird towards you and I apologize for that, and I truly had no bad intent at all and I am very sorry it came across that way. Despite you already forgiving me and even considering friending me on another account I couldn't access before Kayla's document came out, I do feel like I have to apologize to you again for being as weird and clingy as I was towards you. Kay on the other hand is a complete different story. Me and Kay dated around late April of this year. A couple weeks after the breakup with Kayla, and of course with me having problems with hypersexuality, me and Kay did some weird things with each other too. Like Kayla, we were both okay with sexual acts between us, and I even asked so many times to Kay if it was okay. I did the same with Kayla, like I said before, just feel like I have confirmed that anyways, and they said yes every time. And also like Kayla, they would encourage a lot of the things that happened too. But to Kay's side of the story, they only did all of that with me because I was suicidal and going through some stuff, and that apparently they never consented to any of what we both did in DMs. If what Kay is saying is true, then Kay is basically just saying that they led me on for the couple of weeks we dated and completely lied to me about saying they were okay with the sexual acts we did, and honestly in my opinion that is extremely screwed up to do to someone that's going through suicidal thoughts, a grooming victim, and a hypersexual person. Kay knew I was all three of these and didn't even consider to say hey, so actually I don't want to do this. I would have been completely okay with that and accepted that, but they never said a word about it. They always were okay and seemed completely fine with everything we were both doing at the time. Kay going on Twitter to tell everyone that it wasn't consensual is not true at all, because I am certain it was between me and Kay. Ending this part of the video. Yes, I admit I was very weird towards Quinn. Barely anything happened between me and her, and we both forgave each other before Kayla's doc came out. And Kay on the other hand was terrible with communication and basically lied and deceived me about being okay with what we were both doing, despite my many freakouts and constant reassurance I would ask from Kay. I would like to start off this section by saying I am no longer with Nils and haven't been so for a couple weeks now. With that being said, let's get into it. Me and Nils dated a day after Kayla released her doc on me, and at the time I thought he would have been good for me, because for starters we knew each other for about 4 years and actually knew each other pretty well already. And at the time I thought he was extremely cool. It was about a few days to a week later of us dating when I found out he was a dark shipper / pro shipper. Everyone could make the argument that I should have just broken up with him then, but when Nils explained why he was both of those things, I couldn't just help but feel extremely bad and had to have an exception for him. I would feel way too bad if I just left him that instantly after he explained all of that to me. I won't go over the things he told me for my own sake and his. But everything he told me made me feel extremely bad, and I didn't want to leave him like everyone else had, he claimed. Then he has accused me of cheating, which I can say with full confidence no cheating happened, and was actually being overdramatic about me loving two friends who I won't name out for privacy reasons, one of them now being an ex-friend because we found out they turned out to be extremely weird. In a platonic way, I didn't actually feel anything towards those two. Couple weeks after that, I was starting to get iffy on some of the things Nils would say, like how he didn't care about the QWEL drama and that he would continue playing Dandy's World anyway because it's cute, and how he is affiliated with extremely fucked up people. And Nils knew that. Ever since I broke up with Nils, however, he seems to have gone absolutely insane and has been saying slurs and dead-naming me, and even going as far to dox people and planning to do so to me next. As I type this part of the script out, Nils has admitted to liking lolicon art, not seeing pedophilia as a problem, and has even admitted that once his cousin gets out of jail he's planning on dating him, which even as a joke still seems extremely weird to say. I'll admit I really should have seen all the red flags about Nils and dipped as soon as I could have. I saw nothing wrong with him at first, and I just wanted to be there for him because I felt extremely bad over the stuff he went through and how many people ditched him. Of course, I knew I couldn't have that mentality for long, and I knew it was gonna be more of a problem if I continued to date him. So that's why I broke up with him silently and let him figure it out on his own. I also couldn't even break up with him at the time anyway because Homeland Security took away his access from his devices, which looking back on it was very deserved for him. But I'll admit I was a part of it, and I apologize for spreading that picture of Leather around. I was angry over how Leather seemed to treat Nils, and in my head Leather threw him under the bus. But now after a while I realize why Leather did so, and she was completely right to do so, and I was only angry at her because knowing the stuff Nils went through and how tough of a time he was having made me want to defend him with all my life. But yeah, that was probably the worst way to do so, and I'm very sorry if you actually got hurt in any way at all, Leather. I know you may not forgive me, but I at least want you to know I never wanted to hurt you at all, and I was petty and angry, and I can at least admit you were right about Nils 100%, and I feel stupid for even dating him at all in the first place. I would also like to say Nils groomed me into thinking pedophilia was okay along with tons of other fucked up shit. Obviously I don't think that now. And after I broke up with Nils, I only realized how much he really used me, and also said something like, I don't even know why I dated you in the first place. You were always very annoying, and basically leading me on for almost 2 months thinking that he actually loved me. Now that we just talked about the insane mentality of Nils, I would like to make a section of this video to debunk some things and apologize for some things, starting off with the allegation of me being a zoophile. If you don't know already, there's been a screenshot on Twitter that's been posted with the caption "Rest in peace, Utah," with an image of me on my private account saying I want to be a zoophile. That screenshot is not real, and I never said anything like that on any of my private accounts. How that person the screenshot is probably because I was once talking about it in my old Nation server. Or someone sent it once either as a joke or in confusion. Even some of my close friends before all this happened knew that this screenshot was faked, and the straw page gimmick Kayla got was definitely someone trying to ruin things for me, as that has happened many times in the past, and I definitely don't think this is the last time it's gonna happen, sadly. Now then, I would to apologize to First Light for making that artwork of her in February of 2025. I know that was really gross of me, and I'll be honest, I did a lot of things I regret that year and regret being so gross at the time. I really thought you didn't have a problem with it, and it seemed to be that way for over a year. I even forgot all about it until you reminded me back in May and told me you always had a problem with it. I'll be a little honest though, and I'm not trying to be mean or offensive here, but I really wish you would have told me earlier. We could have just settled things that way and move on from it instead of waiting over a year to finally admit you had problems with it. But I really am sorry for making that artwork in the first place, and I shouldn't have even made it in the first place. And I'm sorry if you did get hurt by it. I never wanted to hurt you or Max. I would also like to apologize and admit I had some very poor communication with telling you both. I was uncomfortable with some of the jokes you both were making towards me. I really should have been more direct and more honest with both of you guys, and I'm very sorry you guys couldn't tell from my poor communication skills, and I wish I would have handled things a bit better than I did, and I'm sorry. I would now also like to apologize for the usage of the R slur in those blue ASCII posts. It was petty of me and honestly really immature from me from my end of things looking back on it. And I know how offensive that word can be, and I promise I won't use that word anymore. I was angry and upset, and I'll admit I could have just kept it to myself. Since then though, that blue ASCII account has been forever deleted, and I honestly want it to stay that way because looking back on that account I said some things even I don't agree with, and that account was also made during the time I was dating Nils, so of course I said some things I definitely don't agree with. I would like to say, if you even bothered watching this video all the way up to the ending, I would like to say thank you for listening to me despite everything. Even if you don't end up forgiving me or even believing me, I would just at least like to thank you for taking the time to listen to my side of the story on everything that's been going on in these past couple of stressful months. If there's anything I missed talking about or anything I forgot to mention, debunk, or even apologize for, let me know please, and I'll most likely make a follow-up video talking about those things. And also I would like to say that I won't be returning to the object show community anytime soon, as that's probably for the best. I've actually been meaning to leave the community for a long time now. Something was just holding me back from doing so. It is time for me to move on to better things and to better myself in general altogether. Thanks for watching if you bothered to. I'll see you guys later. Peace.